Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Kwadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers doing the work, the most in truth, and in sincerity. Yeah, it's a quick one. It was just something that I was meditating on today, and I've thought about, in times past, right? Let me just get into it, and hopefully it'll make sense. Whereas Matthew 27:42 says, He saved others, Himself He cannot save. In fact, let me read up a little bit, right? Verse 39 says, And they that passed by reviled Him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. Right. And it was kind of on this vein in that first line of Matthew 27:42, which says he saved himself, he cannot save himself, he cannot save, right? And it's something I think about in reference to, say, Paul, right? Because you read 2 Corinthians 12:6 says, For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth, but now forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me, unless I shall be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I shall be exalted above measure. Right, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, right, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, and it's written in red, so Yahweh shall respond. It says, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Right, most gladly, therefore, rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Mashiach may rest upon me. Okay. And today it came to my mind because I was thinking about a brother, right? One of the brothers in the camp, right? Great with the herbs and everything. But sayings always, messing him up in terms of health, right? Joint pains, skin issues, different things, right? And it, really made me think. People are like, oh yeah, well, you can heal yourself, rather you can heal others, why can't you heal yourself, right? Well, and this is what I was thinking. Ooh, what did I do there? Which is why I was thinking of that one where it says He saved others. Why can't you save yourself? Because it's not the will of the Most High, and that's just the simple answer to that, right? Because at the end of the day, with all these things, it's all about manifesting the will of the Most High, because it's of the Most High wherein cometh healing anyway, right? This is it? About 38 anyway. Right, just Sirach 38 from the top says, Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord hath created him. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. Okay, and that's what it is. From the Most High comes healing, right? We can't heal ourselves, right? The Lord may, what do you call it? The Lord may give you that spirit to know all the herbs, to know. The Lord might even give you the spiritual power, right? Like Paul. Paul had the spiritual power, but at the end of the day, that wasn't the will of the Most High for him to, heal himself, right? Or or what not too sure. Scriptures don't say what he was wrong with it, but hey, at the end of the day, these things are all demons, right? Which is why you see the messenger of Satan to buffet me, right? Paul was able to cast out demons, right? So but for him, he wasn't able to do so. Why? Because once again, it wasn't the will of the Most High. Okay. Just like how it wasn't the will of the Most High for Yahweh Shai to come down off of that cross. Yahweh Shai just had to suffer it. Just like how, we have to go through things in this life, right? And that's just what it is, right? And this is the scripture say in reference to Paul, says Acts 19:11. It says, and the Most High wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, right? So that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. Right, so you look at that, it's a special miracles were wrought by Paul, okay? But he wasn't able to heal himself of the of the illness, of what it, or to heal himself, or protect himself from whatever it was that was buffeting him, okay? Because it's all about glorying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And it also made me think, in reference to Job, okay, how there'll be certain things and certain levels where Satan can only go so far, right? Because at the end of the day, when it came to Job, right, the Lord basically said, look, man, you can. In fact, let me start from the first verse, first account of it, right, which just goes and shows you just how much it is that Satan, is in subjection, right, to Yahweh Shem Shai, right? While I'm here, let's grab this real quick. Right, this is Sirach 18:3. All right, it says, "Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will." So everything obeys his will, right? When when you're sick, whatever, what have you, demons or whatever, right? They've been given a what's the word I'm looking for? They've been given a boundary that they cannot pass. Why? Because they can only go as far as the Most High allows them to, as Yahweh allows them to. Which Yahweh, that's the true name of whom the world England calls a God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His true name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shai. Okay. So it says, "For he is king of all, and by his power divided, and by his power." So let me read that again. "Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from the profane." All right, so everything obeys the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so yeah, this is Job 1:8. Start from here. It says, "And Yahweh said unto Satan, right, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, and a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, Doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Says, Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand." So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh. Okay, and then Satan went and did what he had to do. But then guess what? Satan only went as far as he was allowed to go. Right? And you read verse 3 also, says, Yahweh, Job 2:3 says, "And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause." And Satan answered Yahweh and said, "Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath, he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face." Okay. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, "Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life." So Satan was only able to get so far, against him. Just like for us, right? Might get ailments, might get sick, might go through certain things. But at the end of the day, there are boundaries that are set, and those boundaries are our meat, because at the end of the day, we've all gone off, right? We've all gone off, and right now we're just paying for those sins. This is Micah 7:9. "I will bear the indignation of Yahweh." And part of those indignations is some of the ailments that we have, right? Some of the issues that we have, right? Friends, we always speak about these running things. Man, these bodies, man, brothers will be young as hell, right? Legs all mash up and this, that, and the other. Brothers, before they came into truth, may have been like, not athletes, but used to be able to say play basketball, play football or whatever, right? Or soccer, as brothers in America would call it, right? And then they come in as truth, all of a sudden knees go out, right? Start pulling muscles, back pains, right? Trying to run for the bus, you're feeling it, right? But why? Because at the end of the day, that was just the will of the Most High, right? As we read in Sirach 18:3, all things obey his will. Okay, so there is nothing, looks like there is nothing we can do against the will of the Most High. Right? We just have to take it. Right? It says, so Mark 7:9, so I'll bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab one more, which called got meeting in 4 minutes. Where am I? What am I getting? All right, is Romans 9. I'm gonna start from 15. Right, for he saith to Moses, I'll have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I'll have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. Right. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Right, so through Pharaoh and the fact that Pharaoh wasn't able to go against the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord was able to, to show his mercy, not show his mercy, show his power, right? And just like us, here it is, once again, Paul was, performing all these miracles, right? But then he wasn't able to heal himself, right? Just showing you the power of the Most High, to remind people and keep it in remembrance that none of these things are of our own hands, right? That they are of the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, because imagine how the story would have turned out if Yahweh Shah said, you know what, I'm going to get off this cross, which he can, right? He wouldn't have been able to do that, right? But then that makes it a thing of man and not a thing of the Most High, right? But, yeah. And that's, I'll just read first 2 Corinthians 12:7 again. It says, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelation, right? And that's it, because men would then start it's two parts. On one part, as a man, right, you might start getting proud, right? In fact, scriptures say so. Scripture says knowledge puffeth up, right? All right, so as a man, you get all of these revelations, you're on a particular level, you might get proud. So guess what? There's that balancing act, right? Which is why there's that saying amongst brethren, another level, another devil, right? Brothers might catch a whole shit load of hell, and then when they come out of it, they're deeper in the faith, okay? And then the next thing is, people start looking at you above what they're meant to be looking at you. And this is something that the apostles say a lot. It's like, look, man, we ain't trying to be no celebrities. We're just men, right? They're just doing what, they're just teaching like, how we have been commanded to teach. Right now, that's not for anyone to now go and start trying to disrespect the apostles. At the end of the day, right, they are choice men, right? They have been chosen, right? Just as we see here in Acts 19:11, right? Scripture says that Paul was doing special miracles. It says, so he says, and lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations that was given to me, a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. Right? I'll read this real quick as well. Verse 10, it says, therefore I take pleasure in mine infirmities. So therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Mashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. Right? But yeah, as always, Lord's will was edifying. And yeah, man, we're gonna go through things, and that's just the will of the Most High. That's just the will of the Most High. We just gotta take it, right? Because Yahweh Shah couldn't save himself, right? Despite saving others. Why? Because that was the will of the Most High. So till next time, we say shalom.